This video contains spoilers. Welcome one and all to Gathering Graves. I call it that because it's literally killing me. Wuthering Waves is a new open-world action hack-and-slash gotcha smack my ass marries the last role-playing game. And this game flashes you more than my videos, but you already knew that if you saw the last video. And if you haven't seen the last video, go watch it because I am funny and also this anime girl with big... Where we last left off, we defeated Dreamless and her friend, Dwayne. Except we weren't the ones who defeated Dreamless. Who did defeat Dreamless was this little demon, Abby, who is the pokey non-binary just like me when there's a male character in the store. And after befriending our inner demons just like business majors, we prepare to rescue Jinhsi's pet snake Jue, and Changli's pet human Jinhsi, and so much more, coming up in Gathering Waves in a Nutshell 2.
For every note that's played, and every accolade, and every mask that hides a secretive message conveyed, and as we serenade, our characters betray this masquerade.
Hello and welcome back to Kitchen Nightmares Gathering Knives.
Fuck off you.
If you made it this far into the video, and Wuthering Waves for that matter, you may have noticed the jiggle physics are fucked up, but also congratulations on making it to the better parts of the game. This is where you can start to see improvements in the story, as well as the glue in the systems that holds the whole thing together. However, we will talk about smothering glue later. For now, let's focus on Jinhsi and her mothering Jew. Our journey begins when we meet Sandwich and she tells us to go down to the docks to meet a mysterious guide, whose name is Chain Me. Fuck. After getting down badly, we proceed to board the ferry where she sings us a lullaby. Following that, we take the ferry straight to Mount Firmament, where we learn how to manipulate time just like Dr. Stranger Things on National Geographic. And after learning how to use the chronosphere, we head to the main city of Mount Firmament, which is frozen in time and overwhelmed by the Fraxidix. Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards. After our encounter with the Fraxidus, we meet Shiny. I call her that because of her face. Talking to Shinya reveals to us that Jinhsi has gone off to Puzzle Palace to solve puzzles and meet her pet snake again. But upon entering Paper Mario's Puzzle Palace, we procure a piece of piss parchment that prolongs the plot. Not long after this, we meet Jinhsi, who concisely explains to us that she must fight and defeat Sentinel Jue in order to unfreeze time on Mount Firmament. But that's kind of hard, and so am I. So instead we're gonna go back to the main city, where we can come up with a new plan for Jinhsi to fight her danger noodle and save the people of Mount Firmament. So we make our way back to the Jedi Temple, where we learn that Jinhsi was chosen by Jue to release her inner Todd Howard and inherit her bad dragon's Fusroda. However, there is just one problem. Jinhsi be drinking too much gin, she be fallen. But after sobering up on our casual hike through Mount Everest, we encounter Jue and can finally enact our plan. This new plan is basically the same as the old plan, but more damage. Oh, them. So after beating the Skyrim with the help of Jinhsi and Changli, we find out that we are an old friend of Sentinel Jue and are known as the Arbiter, which is when Jue tells us to go back to the Black Shores to learn more about our past. So we head back to Huanglong, where we encounter Yep Yep and her new friend Hoodoo, who reminds me of a man with the power of Yoo-hoo. So after meeting Hoodoo and Neon Cat, they explain to us that there's some buck wild shit going on in the port city of basically fucked Guishu.
I'm going to shit
So after beating up the locals and stealing their purses, they get so angry that they actually turn red. This is where Scotty beams us up to the Black Shores to protect us, except her name is Shorekeeper, and yes, I did pull for her because this is one of my favorite quests in the game. Yes, I am a simp. A sniper monkey. Once we arrive at the Black Shores, we meet Tenor, and he explains to us the goals of the Black Shores, as well as the Tethys system, which is basically just a big computer that can predict the lament. And the lament is basically like the rumbling, minus the foot fetish. After learning about Tethys, we run around and do some chores and explore the Black Shores. After that, we learn that the locals we mugged earlier were actually residents of the port city and were destroyed during the lament. This is where we meet our kin and wife Shoreweeper, who is an autistic intelligence who doesn't understand emotions.
Could this feeling be love?
Chang-Li, forgive me. So we follow Doorkeeper through the secret tunnel and get to see the star-cooled CPU of the Tethys system. After that, we encounter Agent and watch him die right before our eyes. So anyway, we play a little Portal and fight Inferno Rider again, okay? And after beating Inferno Rider up again, we finally meet Shore Sleeper in person, who tells us that we were the ones who founded the Black Shores. But we kind of forgot about that. You see, before we bunked ourselves on the head and gave ourselves Goldfish Brain, we entrusted Shorekeeper to take care of the Black Shores. So with Rover back in black, just like my favorite band Actic, Shorekeeper takes us on a little date where she tells us about how the Teeth system eats the lament and its victims for its predictions. This is obviously a feels bad man because the victims of the previous lament are now stuck inside of the Teeth system and need to be freed. Unfortunately, after freeing them, the Teeth system is really hungry and chooses me as its next victim. However, Shorekeeper volunteers as tribute, just like the Hunger Games, except we're in a black hole. And so she gets sucked away, never to be seen again. So one loading screen later, we see Shorekeeper, where she gives us some anecdotes about our history together and explains to us how she feels about us. After that, Shorekeeper is fully absorbed into the Tethys system, never to be seen again. So one Astrum Unicum later, we find out that Shorekeeper wasn't fully absorbed and is just kind of chilling on the edge at the black hole. So with the help of the other members of the Black Shores, we cook up a plan to go and stop the Tethys system and save Shorekeeper. Bring it on.
Whenever I gaze at this sky, there is always one bright roving star. And now, this star is here. Could this feeling be love?
テティスの一部になってしまえばもう戻れない。悲劇は終わった。テティスシステムとブラックショーは新しい道を行く。それにあなたを嘘つきにするわけにはいかないでしょう。
SegX? Hello and welcome back to The Glue. If you made it this far into the video, you may have noticed I am stupid, but also that there's a lot of content in this game that I have not talked about yet, such as companion quests, events, fishing, holograms, other endgame activities, exploration quests like the Espresso Depresso that serves espresso. However, we'll only talk about a few of them because otherwise this video would be 30 minutes long. So let's talk about companions, and one of the first companions you quest is Yinlin. Or as I like to call her, Darth Tidius, because she's a spy and she executes Baldi 66. And that's about all you need to know for Yinlin. Next up is Ling Yang? Then there's Cameltoe, whose name I won't explain, and then Bounce House, I meant Chang-Li. And that's all for companion quests because most of them can be summed up as Wife Gathered. Life Good. Of course, there's more to the quest than that, and there are some exceptions to the wife gathered rule, but I don't have time to go over each one, so play the game yourself. It's mostly free. But other than companion quests, Wuthering Waves also has exploration and no shortage of events, such as racing, which, congratulations Calculus mains, you have an advantage. Overall, there's not much to say about events, they're just here to entertain you between bigger content drops. Now, aside from the events, there's also permanent content in this game to talk about, such as endgame activities, exploration, the music. But what I love most about Wuthering Waves is the combat. Wuthering Waves has the best combat out of any gacha game I've played, which is a large sample size of 3. Give me a dodge with iframes and a parry, and I'm a happy man. Now, you may be confused as to what I'm talking about, because none of the campaign bosses are particularly difficult. However, Wuthering Waves has 3.5 endgame modes, which test your abilities in different ways, kinda, such as Whimpering Wastes My Time, Tower of Advil, for the headaches, my favorite not-so-tactical Hollow Knights, and Fantasy of 1,000 Gateways, which is my OC, do not copy. The quality of these endgame modes depends on the buffs active at the time, except for tactical holograms, as those are an excuse for the developers to give you a dick flattening. The combat in Wuthering Waves is like if you took Genshin and cranked it up to Nier Automata. You could even call this game the Dark Souls of Honkai Starbucks. And I don't mean to brag, but the footage you're seeing is my winning attempt on the heca-tea hologram using an S0R1 Chang Li team. And I achieved this goal only after 20 attempts. Of course, this game's combat is focused on rotations and teams, but dodging and hitting are the name of the game, except it's called Gathering Wives. Here in my garage, just gathered my new wife, but you know what I like more than my new wife? After saving Shorekeeper from the Tetha system, she shows us an invitation from the Montelli family to attend the Carnival, as well as a message from past Rover telling us to go to Rinascita and meet the Sentinel. So we hop onto a boat and set sail. What a Moby Dick. So on our way to Rinascita, we get rudely interrupted by Citrus the Tide Pod. Luckily for us, Captain Raisinbrand was on standby with his crew to look cool and save us from the bite of 2001-7. Unfortunately, he could not save us from furries and lollies. Is he disturbed? No. He's down with the slickness. We can think of this as the day we almost caught Captain Brant Sparrow. And after introducing ourselves to the troop of sussy bakas, we head to the city of Ragusa, which is Italy. Just Italy. They didn't even try to hide it. Upon arrival, we encounter Christopher Columbich, who is ambiguously evil. I can tell because of the red and the poetry. And after asking Cristoforo about the laws of the land, we head to mainland Ragusa where we get stopped by the security. This is where you meet Peeb, who just lets you through because she's just nice like that. Wait a minute. I've played these games before! And after touring with Peeb, we head over to the Montelli Bank where we meet Zanny.
May I ask where your companion is?
Who is a horny woman with a button problem. So Zanny and I go on a little pizza date, where we get jump scared by exposition. This is when we realize that the Echoes have had a little bit too much to drink and need to be put down. And after dealing with our Echotile dysfunction, we head to the mask shop to pick up a mask for the Carnival. This is where we meet Young Woman, who tells us that our mask is bad and that we should feel bad. Anyways, we suspect that the Phasalias have been up to this Echotile dysfunction, so we decide to investigate further. We find out that a man named Gilberto is awfully sus and needs to be ejected. So we track him down to a church where we find out him and the Order have been conspiring together to mess up the Carnival. So we confront the priest about Gilberto, who then asks how old we are, and when we tell him we're over the age of 18, he tells us to jump into lava in Minecraft, which doesn't make sense because Minecraft YouTubers also don't like the age of consent. So after our conversation with the priest, we head over to make our confession.
Hi, welcome to Confession Elevation. How have you transgressed today?
Gay sex. Now how long is the trip to hell?
Oh, we're sorry. Trips to hell are reserved for gacha game players and tax collectors.
Fuck. I needed to talk to the Big D about Echoes for no particular reason.
Well, how about this? Instead, I'll give you a ticket to Whisper Sin Haven.
Oh, that sounds fun. Wait a minute. Where's the sin? Hello and welcome to Wuthering Souls Beyond Journey's End. I call it that because I keep falling for the mimics. So we continue our investigation of Gilberto, where we find out Gilberto serves a different being other than the Sentinel. So we place him under arrest for being a dick and continue to explore and learn more about the Blessed Maiden told in legends, which is your mom, last night. So after our education, we get on a boat ride with Carlotta to learn more about Rinascita and to figure out how to be rid of the fog that's been covering Limbus Sanctum. It turns out Lorelei, Queen of the Night, is behind the fog machine, so we speak to her manager in hopes that he'll introduce us to her. And,
Rover, why are you looking at her like that?
there are no laws against echoes, Phoebe.
What?
I mean, what? So after waking Lorelei up from her dream, she explains to us that the reason why she was in that dream in the first place was because of Phro-lovin. Wow, who could have seen that coming? So we say farewell to Lorelai's about her job and head to Everado Bank to warn the Mantelli family about Phro-lovin's involvement in the scheme to disrupt the Carnival. When we arrived at the bank, we must have smelled like a kindergartner because the Mantelli family's guard dog was very angry. Luckily, Carlotta came and calmed it down by flipping up her skirt. So we warn Carlotta about Phro-lovin, and she tells us there's a traitor that must be dealt with in Everado Bank. So we watch Carlotta become Jason Bourne, and this is how we find the traitor because of the reasons why. After that subplot, she tells us a little bit about the Mantelli family, and how the echoes that went buck wild earlier were probably due to Sentinel Imperator. Upon exiting Everado Bank, we find out that the guard dog actually had rabies. Luckily, the kind lady at the desk gave us chocolate, so the guard dog was no problem. After that, our investigation takes us to this random tower in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, where we learn a little bit more about the Order's origin and this mysterious maiden, who apparently will bring an end to Rinascita's woes, ushering in the Divnity's true form. After that, we get ambushed by the Order, where they send their Pokemon at us. However, luckily for us, we have the power of anime women to deal with these problems.
Who gave you the order?
Unfortunately, the Order is cunning and threatens Carlotta's family, so she pretends to betray us, which the Order buys for some reason. Don't worry, Alessio, I too have the -10 to intelligence debuff when talking to women. After that, we make our escape when the Dragon of Dirge gently encourages us to jump off a bridge. Hey guys, it's me again, Sleepy Jover. So immediately after waking up, we were attacked by a ton of Tacit Discord mods. Luckily, however, we were saved by Rochia, who is a member of the Phantom Troop. I mean the Troop of Fools. So after saving us, Rochia tells us that we are in Silly Death Valley and that we should leave. Alright, pack your kid. So we decide to start stalking a ghost while a dragon starts stalking us. During this, we find out that this is where the Order sends people who are Seaners. God damn it, Priest Alessio. He gave me the wrong directions to hell. So we continue up the mountain, where we encounter a Seaner repenting before the Dragon of Dirge. Number 13. The Tub Pup Bathtub. The last thing a gamer wants on his journey gathering wives is to take a bath. So after defeating the Dragon of Dirt, we head to the Dark Below, which is the home base of the Troop of Dumbasses. This is where we meet the Dark Lord Bartolino. Only evil lurks behind those eyes and you can't convince me otherwise. So Bartolino tells me that he wants to go up, presumably to the surface in retrospect, but I misinterpreted him and thought we were meant to reenact the plot of the movie Up. So we start singing sea shanties in hopes to send his soul to the great Monty Python. Unfortunately, Carlotta came and bursted our balloons and saved his ass. She feels guilty about disrupting our plans, so she offers to dance with me. It was at this point in the game that I changed to male rover for optimal immersion. And after our little dance, we come together to solidify our plans for the Carnival. In summary, if evil, why not kill? So we make our way back up to the surface for the Carnival, where we take a lot of pictures. This is where we meet Phro-lovin again, who tells us to follow her, which is when I switch back to female rover for optimal immersion. Ah, well, if it isn't Mr. Slover himself. That's rich coming from Little Miss Phro-lovin's witness. Well, you know what they say, if you want to be the best, you gotta serve the best. Are you stupid? Are you spending hundreds of dollars on fictional women? Fuck. That's what I thought, you dumb bitch. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go jump off a ledge. So we begin our ascent to Phro-lovin and our plan by beating up some furries. And after that, we beat up the echoes that are fabulous? Don't worry, this is all part of the plan. Sorry, I don't speak Elden Ringlish. And after beating up those two groups of enemies for being different, we played the dodge puzzle game that's out in the open world for some reason. After that, we get saved by Rochia, and I've never punched a child before, but there's a first time for everything. After that, Phro-lovin sends out... yeah. So after Dark Souls 2, Prepare to Die edition, we finally are summoned by Phro-lovin to meet her in our castle, where she gives us a hand. Time to buckle your britches, bitches, because this boss fight is a expletive goes here. So with my wife Carlotta and this lost child, we finally confront Phro-lovin and her cup of heca-tea, so we can scold her for ruining Rina Sita's birthday party.
The stage is set, and the curtain rises. Actors, the moment to dazzle has arrived. The magic is ready to unfold. Defy destiny, mock both life and death, and rise beyond good and evil. Abandon all doubt and grasp at unreachable hopes. Now, hear the third and final prophecy. Pleasure brings violence, shall end in violence. Splendid performance. It's almost time for the final bow, but the symphony between us has only just begun its overture.
Target acquired. So after helping Phro-lovin terminate her heca flea, Sentinel Imperator contacts us and tells us that they are currently stranded in the sky. And no, they did not try jumping. I already asked. So after learning about Imperator's condition, we meet Cardathosaurus, who is either the Thronodian's resonator or the Sentinels. But one way or another, she is wife. So after the festival, Carlotta sends over her friend Chokana. Chokana what? Chokana D's nips. After meeting Chokana and talking to Carta Theater's Ghost of Christmas Past, we get an invitation at dinner from the head of the Vasile family, who is a very interesting woman. This invitation was given to us by Sebastian.
My name is Sebastian.
So Sebastian introduces us to the tentacle-chewing, tongue-drooling, umbrella-using Cantarella, who shows us her secret tunnel. No, not that secret tunnel, you pervert. This is where she tells us that Imperator done goofed and got himself mixed up with a Thronodian, and that the sword holds some leftover power from the Sentinel. So to impress Cinderella, I flex my muscles by picking up the sword. Then we head over to the entrance of the inverted tower where we encounter Cardathea. And it turns out she herself isn't sure if she's evil or not. Aw, I didn't know evil could be this cute. So the three of us head up to the tower so we can break the seals that have trapped Imperator. This requires us to gather 3 swords and suck out their life juice.
Nice.
Abby was not pleased. Doing this, however, also has an effect on Cardathea, restoring her memory, which lets us learn more about her later. For now, we have to ride the crazy boat that I have trouble steering, cause how else will we get to all the swords? It's not like we have wings or anything. P.S. Stop making me play a Spectral Rover, I hate it. By the time I finish killing enemies, my cat finishes forming a thought. So after getting the first sword, we found out that Cardathea did in fact have something to do with the church. So then Cantarella tells us that she needs to leave to go play with the sword. No, not that sword, you pervert. So after Cantarella leaves, me and Cardathea continue our journey through Gravity Palace. It's quite the uplifting experience. And after getting another sword, we find out that Cardathea actually rebelled against the Turducken deity. And so with one more sword remaining, me and Cardathea decide to go out on a little date, where we meet the ghost of Spyro. After having a nice heart-to-heart about her dead friends, we take a little nap together and head out to find the final sword. And speaking of Cardathea's dead friends, this is where you meet Igris. Ooh, I want to say the thing. No! don't say the thing.
Erect.
God damn it. So after getting one step closer to our goal of Solon leveling, we find the final sword so we can finish our quest of gathering knives. And this is where we find out that heca-tea is in fact the Threnodian's resonator. Upon learning this, heca-tea gets really depressed for some reason. So we tell her to go have some coffee with cream or something while we go aura farm. This is when Cantarella returns, where she reveals to us that she actually resonated with the Sentinel, meaning she is the Sentinel's resonator, or was before she gave her power back to the Sentinel. This sacrifice is what allowed heca-tea to split herself into two different people. A good version and a bad version. Oh, man, this place is a dump. Oh, hey, heca-tea. You look a little strung up there. I don't think she liked that one.
Come to me, mighty god killer.
You're gonna weather my waves, aren't you?
Imperators? No, your own power. Useless.
As long as I can save the person in front of me, I am not useless! At least, right, damn it!
Rise to defeat evil. I will defeat you, and await my own defeat. Whoever it is, the tide of resistance never ceases. False divinity, suffer my disobedience! Make way for your destroyer.
Yes, that's right. heca-tea. Seek out a future where I am your blade. We'll find it together.
I can hear the bell of fate sound. It's high time to turn it around. I'll carry on my glorious journey with the blessings and wish by my side.
heca-tea, not Vladimir, should continue to exist.
But I prefer to handle this my way.
Her frequency in her body is already